Facebook world. It's been quite some time since I've gone live. I've kind of gotten out of the habit a little bit. And hopefully many of you beautiful Facebook friends have noticed me posting like crazy about this film called Spellers. And some of you may be not really knowing what that's about, or maybe you haven't seen it because, as we all know, Facebook likes to play some games and doesn't always show things in a fair way. So I just wanted to hop on and share a little bit. I'm a little tired, my brain feels a little fuzzy, but sometimes you just gotta do it when you can. So most of you know that our son Carter is autistic, and he is also non-speaking. He actually was not always non-speaking. He used to say a lot of words. He used to say his whole alphabet. He used to sing nursery rhymes. He knew his numbers when he was 3 years old. He got a puzzle, actually, a Melissa and Doug, those wooden puzzles. It was from 0 to 20, and he actually took them out backwards from 20 down to 0 and counted when he was 3 years old, 20 down to 0. It was incredible. He knew animals, colors, you name it. Said no very clearly when he was 1 year old, said all of our names. And so it's been quite a journey for us, just watching his development change, and just go a lot differently from our older two kids. So this whole thing with Spellers is, it's a method. It's a method for non-speaking, and not just non-speaking autistic individuals, non-speaking people that have Down syndrome or that have other genetic disorders, or anything with their brain function really that impacts their ability to speak. It can be used for. So it's not just autistic individuals. It also is not just for non-speaking people. It can be for, hi Diana. It can be for minimally speaking people or unreliably speaking people. And there's many autistic individuals who do speak, but they have times, and often it's when like they get overwhelmed with emotion or stress or anxiety, and it becomes more difficult for them to speak. And so spelling is a more reliable method of communicating for all of these people, for most of them. And it's not new per se. There have been non-speaking individuals doing this and sharing that they're doing it for many, many years. I just finished reading a book, Ito in Autism Land, and it was published in 2012, I believe. And so it's been around. The first method was called Rapid Prompting Method, RPM, and then there was another offshoot called S2C, Spell to Communicate, and now there's also another group called Spellers. They are all helpful, they are all good, so people that are looking for help for their children should look for practitioners of RPM or S2C. Spellers.com has a lot of resources on it, and Spellers is a movie now. Spellers is, it's called Spellers the Movie, and it's based on a book that I shared a while ago, written by J.B. Handley and his son, Jamie Handley. Jamie is non-speaking. Jameson is his full name. And he learned to spell when he was 17 or 18. Maybe Diana, you can help me out remembering that. And it was just an incredible story. I read the book in one day and I wept. And so what I would like to share is, for those of you who are not parents of a non-speaking child or autistic individual, I know that all of you have a lot of sympathy for families in our shoes, and that you care deeply, and you probably think, oh my gosh, I don't know how they do it, or all sorts of things. But it would be really awesome for you to kind of just try to imagine for a few minutes. I'm sure you can imagine the anxiety and fear that families have for their children's future when their development is so different You don't know if they'll ever be independent or if they'll live with you their whole life, and you worry about what will come of your children when you're gone. But that doesn't even take into account like little things that we take for granted every day with our children that can speak to us, because speaking is such a thing that we just take for granted, right? It's just something part of our lives, this way of communicating. I saw recently one speller talked about how, I think it might have been Ito in the book, Ito in Autism Land, and Ito is IDO if you want to look that up. He talked about how he's more careful with his words because they mean so much, because it's so much work, right, to spell. Spelling is when you have to point to each letter meticulously. And us speakers, we're not careful with our words. Like, I just go blah, 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 say you know. Anyways, the emotional aspect of not being able to communicate with your child, with someone that you love deeply, that you spend all your time with, it's really hard to quantify. And I do believe, if I'm a measure of any families, that many of us just compartmentalize it. We just, there's so many other things to worry about that, you know, dwelling on the fact that you don't know your child's favorite color, or if they, what food is their favorite, what they love to eat, what they don't love to eat, you know, all those little things. You know, you're in survival mode. And so this spelling to communicate with us, and the ability to learn about our children, what's going on inside of them, what their thoughts are, what their feelings are, it unleashes emotions that, you know, you don't even know that are inside of you. So that's what this is all about. There are so many stories now. So many individuals are using these kind of methods. I am starting to learn with Carter how to spell with him. We have these stencils. They're called boards. And when you first start, you start with 3 different boards because the alphabet is split up. And the reason for this is that it's easy. Here's the thing. The reason our children aren't speaking to us is not because they don't have the words inside of them. They're cognitively intact, and that's something that's just going to blow your mind when you watch spellers. But it's a motor issue. They cannot control their vocal cords. Well, it's not just fine motor of their vocal cords, it's their whole bodies. And so this method is training them how to get control of their bodies. It's training them how to control their arm and take a gross motor skill and eventually become better and better till they can point. And that is why many individuals are not spelling on a keyboard. It's still too difficult for them. So anyways, we start on these 3 boards where the letters are nice and big, and they can take a pencil and they can put the pencil into the stencil, because it's actually cut out, the letters. And so Carter and I have just begun to learn. It's super, super exciting. And yeah, I've been posting like crazy because I am not ashamed. I am like so excited about this, and I want the world to know, and I want to be part of spreading the word, because there's so many families that don't know about this. There's many families that don't understand that this can apply to their child. Many people think, oh, that's great for that kid, but maybe that kid's special, or that kid's different, and my kid could never do that. And that is not true. Most of these practitioners will tell you that they have never had a non-speaking autistic individual come in, or non-speaking individual generally, that could not do this. They can all do this. So it's really, really important for people to understand that. Our children are not in control of their bodies. So often the things they do look the opposite of what they think. If they run away from you, you think, oh, they don't want to do this right now. They're not motivated, or they're not obeying, or they're being difficult. And it's not true. They are actually literally not in control of their bodies. So this is a huge, huge paradigm shift for the autism world. I could just ramble on forever. I just want to get on and share. I'm going to put a link in the comments for my screening. Now, my screening is this Sunday of Spellers, the film. It's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. I would love to have you come. I am going to attempt to do a live question and a Q&A after the film, if I can figure it out. This is a new platform for me. It's called Kinema. So that would be one fun way to connect with me if you come to my screening. Now, if 3:30 p.m. on Sunday doesn't work for you, there are other options, so please comment below or send me a message. Please like this video, share it, or share my link. I'm trying to get the word out. And after Sunday, I will keep sharing because it's not the end, this is only the beginning. I love you all. I'm going to sign off with my Rise Up with Susan May. Be bold, be brave, be you, because who else is there to be? I'll be back soon. Bye.